Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And we are going to do another installment of our feat reviews for the new 2024 Dungeons and Dragons. It's important to look at these because there are a couple of changes that happen with this. Today we're going to be looking at the Athlete feat. So you can see here I have the Athlete feat from the Legacy. And then we're also going to be looking at the Charger feat. This is the Legacy version of it. And we're going to be looking at the differences between what we got before and what is in the new 2024 Player's Handbook. But first, I want to encourage everybody to hit that like button and subscribe button. Helps the channel out immensely. We can keep making these videos, and I can keep giving you guys great content. All right, so here is the old Athlete feat that was in the 2014 to 2024. So you got an increase to strength or dex. When you are prone, you could use 5 feet of your movement to stand up. Normally, that's half your movement. Climbing does not cost you any extra movement. So you didn't get a climb speed, but it didn't cost you any extra movement. And you can make a running long jump or a running high jump after moving only 5 feet rather than 10 feet. So it was a movement thing. It did give you a bump in your one of your stats, which was always nice. So let's look at the Athlete feat from the 2024. It is a general feat. It is not an origin feat, so you cannot take this at first level. You have to be 4th level to take this, and it has a prerequisite now of a strength or dexterity of 13. The old Athlete feat, you could take at first level, and it doesn't have a prerequisite for stats. So that is a big change that happened with a lot of these feats in the 2024 Player's Handbook. Is they now, a lot of them don't allow you to take them until 4th level, and they also have prerequisites before. And so this is an example of one. Okay. In addition, you still get your bump to strength or dex by 1 up to a maximum of 20. Now you get a climb speed. So that's a little bit different wording than this. Climbing doesn't cost extra movement. And here you get a climb speed equal to your speed. Now I want to talk a little bit about what climb speed is because some people might be a little confused with this. Having a climb speed does not allow you to walk on the ceiling. Okay? So if we look at the rules glossary in the 2024 rules, a climb speed can be used in place of speed to traverse a vertical surface. So remember, the ceiling is a horizontal surface. A vertical surface without expending the extra movement normally associated with climbing. The monster manual, because climb speed was not in the Player's Handbook, the 2014 Player's Handbook, it's now in the 2024 Player's Handbook. But climb speed was in the monster manual from 2014. And again, a monster that has a climbing speed can use all or part of its movement to move on vertical surfaces. Vertical surfaces, a ceiling is not a vertical surface. The monster doesn't need to spend extra movement to climb. The ceiling thing came from things like spider climb. And that specifically has verbiage in it that allows you to cling to the ceiling. So those are big changes. And finally, when you're prone, you can right yourself with only 5 feet of movement. That didn't really change. That's the same in the Legacy. And you can make a running long jump or high jump after moving 5 feet. They just changed the wording a little bit. They took out the rather than 10 feet, but that's the same too. So pretty much the only thing that changed in this is that you actually get a climb speed in this versus climbing doesn't cost you extra movement. So mechanically, I don't think anything really changed pretty significantly or drastically with the Athlete feat from 2014 to 2024. It is what it is. It's an okay feat. It always was an okay feat. What do I give both of these? I give both of these, let's call it a C+. You get your, you do, the big thing about this is you do get a strength or dexterity bump. So it's not the greatest feat. It's not the worst feat. It's kind of right in the middle. So there you go. Okay. So now we want to talk about the Charger feat. That's the second feat we're going to review here. Here is the Legacy Charger Feat. So when you use your action to dash, so there's a big difference here. When you use your action to dash, so rogues have a dash that they can do with a bonus action, but this one specifically says when you use your action to dash, so this didn't kick in. You can use a bonus action to make one melee attack or to shove a creature. And shove in the old was an athletics check versus athletics or acrobatics, and if you got higher, then you could push them 5 feet. And then the second part of this is if you move at least 10 feet in a straight line immediately before taking this bonus action, you can either gain a +5 to the attack's damage if you choose to make a melee attack and hit, or you can push the target 10 feet away from you if you choose to shove and you succeed. Normally shove is 5 feet. This allowed 10 feet of movement, but you had to succeed. So this one actually used your action, and there's no bump to any of your stats. Okay, so Charger, I'm going to keep at a C+. It was an okay feat, but it did take your action. You were like a fighter, and you were 5th level or higher, and you used your action to do this, then that was it. You know, you didn't really get all your attacks. And then you could do a bonus action attack, which wasn't that great. Now, the new Charger Feat, however, is a bit different. Again, it has a prerequisite of 4th level and a prerequisite of a strength or dex of 13 or better, okay? So it can be used by things like barbarians and fighters and rangers and paladins and rogues. Rogues can do this too, and monks. So, first off, you get a bump to your strength or dex. That's different. That's completely different. And this is a kind of ongoing pattern with a lot of these feats, that they do give a bump to one of your stats. Then you have this thing called improved dash. When you take the dash action, now I want you to notice the difference in the verbiage here. When you use your action to dash, when you take the dash action, okay, your speed increases by 10 feet for that action. So this now works with the rogue, and it works with the monk, who take a bonus action. They can take dash as a bonus action. It's still the dash action, but now they're doing it as a bonus action. And then finally, the charge attack. If you move at least 10 feet in a straight line towards a target immediately before hitting it with a melee attack, so this is just part of your move, as part of the attack action, so you move 10 feet as part of your move, and then you use the attack action, you get to choose one of the following. Gain 1d8 bonus to the attack's damage, which 1d8, the average on that is 4.5, so it's a half a point behind this one right here. That was +5, and this is 4.5. Or you push the target, which is automatic, up to 10 feet away. If it is no more than one size larger than you, you can only use this benefit only once on each of your turns. Okay? So now, as opposed to having to succeed at this shove, you get to do this automatically as part of the attack action. So you get to move. So let's just say you're 10 feet away. So you move 10 feet. You use the attack action. And as part of that attack action, you do your attacks. And you can gain a bonus to damage, or you can shove them 10 feet, which is automatic force movement, which is awesome. And again, this is a move and an attack action. And if you're a monk or a rogue, so here's the monks, and Step of the Wind, you can take the dash action as a bonus action, okay? So if you take that dash action, doesn't matter whether it's as part of your action or as part of your bonus action, your speed is increased by 10 feet, which monks get a bump to their speed anyway. And then the rogue also gets cunning action. On your turn, you can take one of the following actions as a bonus action, and dash is one of those. So again, if you are a rogue and you choose to take the dash action as a bonus action, and you have this feat, you can increase your speed by 10 feet. I personally think this is good for monks, because, especially Way of the Open Hand monks. So they could move 10 feet, use their attack action to push 10 feet, and then if they are way of the open hand, they can move another 10 feet up to the target and flurry of blows and push them another 15 feet. Because flurry of blows is a bonus action. Where is flurry of blows? Expend 1 focus point as a bonus action. So you could continuously move things. And forced movement, as I've said before, is one of the most powerful things in the game. So just because of the forced movement, the automatic forced movement, I'm going to move this one up to A-. I mean, it's even good for fighters to be able to do that. I mean, you get to move, attack, and push them. And it's part of the attack action, so it doesn't say when it happens. It just says as part of the attack action. So you could do the attack action, do all of your attacks, but then you have to push them. So you can't attack and then action surge and then do it again. So, however, you could move up to them. So you have to do it after you move up to them. So I would say as part of the attack action that must follow 10 feet of that movement. You have to do this. So you can't, like I said, you can't move up, attack, do your action surge, and then move them after that. I don't think that works that way. So it's got to be that, but you still have movement left. So if you only move 10 feet, you can move up. You know, the good thing about forced movement is you can move them into a pit. You could move them into a lava. You could shove them off a cliff. You push them into a wall of fire, a cloud kill, all these different area of effect things that magic users and wizards have and sorcerers and things. So the only thing I see that is a little off on this is an automatic forced move. However, shove, you can knock things prone. And this is not a shove anymore. So there's no knocking things prone. So that is a thing, that you do have to keep in mind. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.